Hello, welcome to Animal on a Corner, where everyone here in the outside world is watching, waiting for you, all of you in Scientology. The SPTV Foundation with their number at dial the 1-727-266-5797 and the MJK Aftermath Foundation at 1-888-3002 and in the UK 0800 090 3372. Now they have monetary aid for you when you leave Scientology, and this includes an apartment and a job, and they'll help you on that. So in the meantime, I am in the kitchen today, and I am going to cook up a meal for you today. Today, we are going to finish our bread. And it's, yes, you got it, Syrian. And we're also going to make stuffed shells that are a little bit more healthier for you. Although you still need a little bit of the carbs in there, because there's a certain amount of carbs that you need. So let's just get started on our Syrian bread. All right. Now, first, put a little flour on the counter. All right. There we go. Ooh. Oh! Yeah, I'm getting a little flour on my computer. All right. There. Okay. Now, after letting your dough rise, just make sure there's no crust developing on top. If there is, take it off so it won't make it hard for you to actually bake it. Take as much off as you can. So we're taking off these. Yeah, I don't know what made me want to. I did cover it. Tell you the truth, yes. All right. Little by little, I'm taking off the crusty part because it's going to be harder to bake if it has the crusty, dry part on. Okay. All right, I took as much off as I can. All right, now we're gonna spray the pan. Now get a pan like this, a cookie pan, and then spray it. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm rolling it off and taking off the dry parts. Now, today, I came upon a site that describes people in another religion, and it put them in a stereotype environment. It is uncalled for. First of all, you don't judge another person's religion. It sounds something like right out of a cult. I am just in shock that people in religions judge other people in religions. I'm not going to say which church, which place of worship. It is uncalled for. You don't say rotten things about other people's religion. It sounds like something out of a cult. It sounds like something that Scientology would say. And it is uncalled for. Because this is, if you are a true, good, kind-hearted religion, you would not say things like that. Okay. Now, take a little bit more off of here. Don't do that. It's hurtful and demeaning. Now, if you want, okay, now I'm mentioning a regular Christian church. You want your attendance to go back up again? Don't mention it at all. Don't say, oh, this and that is evil, or it's not normal to get into a gay relationship, or no. You treat people the way you want to be treated, and if you're practicing acceptance, you're going to have to do it yourself. That's why your church is declining. Because of comments like those. That made me not want to go back as often, but go on occasions. Now, I'm not really the one to worship in public. I like to worship at home. I still believe in God and Jesus. I'm not going to change my mind, and I also worship nature. So you're going to have to learn to accept people for who they are. So let's roll this out. You can't go around criticizing people like that. It is uncalled for. Now, you're going to have to treat people the way you want to be treated. Now, this is the reason why I chose this advocacy. So I can get everyone to accept each other and get rid of all the abusive practices out of the cult, including Scientology. That's one of the reasons why I started up my channel, other than me starting out on this channel in the SPTV world, not network, world, to bring awareness to Scientology and other cults. But I decided to actually voice my opinion on the way other religions judge other people and put them in a stereotypical position. It is uncalled for. You shouldn't do something like that. Now, does God and Jesus want you to do it? No, not the kind Jesus or the kind God you describe. Now, I'm going to accept people for who they are, whether they're gay or in another religion. Now, please, knock it off, okay? And speaking of which, now, it's going to be like an elephant in the room. You can't have that. Now, you're going to have to accept people for who they are. And it's just not called for. And if you want to pass off acceptance, that's fine. But you have to accept people yourself. You're not doing it if you're criticizing other religions and then other people's sexuality in the LGBTQ community. You're going to have to practice what you preach, meaning acceptance. Now, I'm helping you out. If you want your church attendance to go back up, get rid of statements like that. Because if you continue that, of course, your church is going to get this decline, because the people that go to your church may have somebody that's different, including the LGBTQ community. And if they stop going to your church, then you're going to, of course, you're going to be the lonely one. I don't want you to be a lonely one. I'm addressing this to make you aware. All right. Okay. So just don't do it. I know some of you are kind, but say it anyway. I'm pleading to you. Please practice what you preach and don't turn on people. Now, when I attended church during Christmas, I looked behind me and there was nobody there. And it was about maybe an hour in. I turned around and yeah, there were people there finally. Now, I do want people going into your church, but if they also practice another religion, accept it. Now, you don't have to embrace it, fine. But at least give the courtesy to let them express themselves the way they want to. It doesn't mean they're evil. And it doesn't mean they're cruel. It just means they want to try something out, or they want to make this a part of their life, like going to church, going to your church if they choose to go to your church. Now, you're going to have to accept people for who they are. You're not doing it if you're putting people in a stereotype position. Okay. There. It's the best I can do. Okay. Maybe I should have put the oil on this. Okay. All right. Next time, before you actually put your dough on a bowl, put a little bit of oil on top so it doesn't form a crust like this one. Okay. All right. Now, roll it out. And, okay. Now, we are going to go on talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses and the way they separate families when they leave Jehovah's Witnesses. And they practice the this communication. That is not right. You are dividing families in half. Now, people shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that in Jehovah's Witnesses. And you're not practicing acceptance if you're doing things like that. Okay. This right here. I gotta make more room. Oh. Okay. Now you can express your religion. That's fine. I'm not stopping you, especially people in a regular church, not a cult. I'm not stopping you from worshiping. I'm just telling you to accept people for who they are, not religion, not what religion they're practicing, and not sexuality they have in the LGBTQ community. Just accept them for who they are. I know you want to be treated the way you tell people to treat others, with kind and respect. Now I'm trying to help you out to get your church attendance back up. Now I'm doing this as a favor to you. Okay. Yeah, and you excommunicating your members away from their families is not right. Now, I know Jehovah's Witnesses, fine, they're worshiping. But at the same time, don't excommunicate people and don't walk up to other people's houses, because they might think differently from you. Okay, fine, you got your freedom of speech, but also they may not want you to actually enter other people's home like that. So don't do that. This is what a true cult is. The way you're behaving. You do not excommunicate people and then divide a family in half. You don't do that. That is not the coolest thing to do. Okay. Now, all right, I gotta put more flour on. So think before doing these things. And you do not commit crimes by telling people that they should have another witness to a crime when a perpetrator who wants to commit a crime like sexual assault to stay quiet, not go to the police. You don't do that. Jehovah's Witnesses. No, absolutely not. So, now, if you see me on the street and you don't like me, fine, don't say anything. I'm good with that. So, but you do not break up families. Families are off limits. Leave the families alone, and if the person wants to leave, let them. Don't break up their family. You have no right doing that. Okay. Then we're going to stick this on the pan. Oh, maybe I should have. Yeah, I should have just used the bigger pan. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use the bigger pan. So, Yeah, I forgot to turn on the oven. So I'm going to switch up pans, see if it works. If not, well then, at least I tried. Okay, so we're going to place this here. All right, now, and I'm going to see how many I'm going to get out of this. And if I need this, I'll. So, okay. All right, we're going to grab our next piece. Now, how many pieces does it make? So far, I got 3. I didn't really count it, so. Now, if you formed a crust on top, take it off. But this is where oh geez. Yeah. Next time I should do this, but when you have something rise, put something over it, which I practically did, like a cloth, and I tuck it in. It just formed a crust, and if there's crust, take it off. Now, yeah, it's a wrong thing to do. And all right. Now, not only I'm going to talk about cults, I'm going to voice my opinion. And I'm not going to say it to be mean, because that's not the kind of person I am. I'm going to say it because I care about people. I care about you. Now, I'm not expecting you to change if you don't want to change. Fine. It's your call, your life. Do what you want. But other people have lives too. The LGBTQ community, the Buddhist community, the Muslim community, the Wicca community. You're going to have to accept them for who they are. But if you don't want to do that, well, then don't get other people to do what you want them to do in that way. You can't. Now, if you want acceptance, you're going to have to practice what you preach. That's why your church attendance is going down. Now, next time on occasion when I go to church, I don't want to feel like a lonely person sitting in those pews. I hope it fills up again. I'm not saying this out of hate. I'm saying this out of love. Okay, the next one. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to address it. This is a new thing I'm going to do, whether I'm painting or cooking or baking. I'm going to voice my opinions and give you stories too, while I'm cooking and baking. And when I will tell my stories about the cult, especially Scientology, since they're out of control and are the worst kinds of cult, the most dangerous cult, besides the Children of God. Okay, go. That there. Grab another one, take off the crusty area. Of course, all you know that every Friday the Clearwater crew protests Scientology, but I haven't seen any of it on YouTube. Maybe it's buried in there somewhere. But yeah, I'll find it. And I always manage to talk about something, and I thought I was never going to get through with anything if I don't. Yeah, the reason why I actually come up with a conversation with you guys is because I don't want any dead air, and neither do you. So that's the reason why. And I don't mind having your opinions too. If you want to express your opinion, go ahead. I'm not going to say it better be the right one. You have the right to your opinion. I'm not going to stop you from giving your opinion. So, but don't justify stereotyping a person and making people feel small, because technically you are doing it by criticizing other religions. I'm not going to say what religions. Well, I just did, but you know what? As long as somebody doesn't hurt another person, they can practice whatever religion you want. You can't justify that by saying nasty things. Okay. All righty. Okay. Now, you're going to see things out there that you don't like. Fine. But keep your opinion to yourself. Because guess what? I generally want to see your church have attendance again. That's why I decided to say that. I'm doing you a favor. And don't give, oh, it's just a religion, an excuse. Because guess what? Then you're going to actually sound like a cult. And that's what cults do. They talk harshly. They abuse people. I'm not saying your church abuses people, because my church doesn't. Now, I know I mentioned this before. While I was growing up, I haven't seen a single nun growing up while going to the Armenian church. Now, they said that they're starting up by letting nuns into churches. Well, I haven't seen that yet, but once I see it, I'll believe it. But yeah, I mean, there's no power for women in the Armenian church. They don't even, well, they didn't let nuns in. Well, I've read it on the internet, but I haven't seen it yet. All righty. I'll get as much off as I can. Now, I hope you take what I say to heart, because I want you to accept people for who they are and vice versa. I'm saying this out of love. And as of the Bible, quit making changes, because that's not what Jesus intended. He doesn't want the rules to be changed. And if that makes me sound like a hypocrite, well, sorry. Okay. Now, and as for converting people, don't do that, because it's in bad taste. If people want to stay in their religion, let them. As long as they don't hurt another person, then they can practice whatever religion they want. Personally, with me, I'd rather worship at home. Oh boy, this is going to be a pain. All right. Yeah. make sure it's really, your dough is really, really covered so you won't get the dry ends out. So, and I'm getting frustrated with just throwing things away because it's just not good for the environment. So I am going to work on getting a food compactor. So this won't happen. Oops. Okay, I'm almost there. All right. Okay, doke. Now you roll it up in the ball before rolling it out. I did do that. Now, gotta make it a little bit more room on your pan. Alrighty. And, oh geez, doesn't look like this. Oh, maybe I should have used the other one. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to. Well, how about the other pans? Oh boy, I thought I was on a good start and then I'm running out of stories, but let's see here. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to the counter. Okay. I couldn't find anything on the Clearwater crew. And I do have 4 people on my list that have their channels talking about Scientology and other cults. So one of them is Julia O'Connell. Oh no, I forgot the other 4. Okay, well, and I don't have my list here with me, so I'll do the best I can. So make your list, and then if you have your own channel, take it onto the channel, and then read the names out loud so people can go to them. Jeez. Oh boy. Well, I'm the only one that eats it, so yeah, who cares? All right. Now let's see if I can fit another one on. No, can't fit another one here. And then take it to the side. Cover it if I can find. Here it is. Yeah, you cover it so it can rise. Hopefully it won't form another crust. So, okay, so I'm gonna have to turn on the water. I have to turn it up all the way because I forgot to turn on the stove top. All right. I should have done today what I did yesterday, which is make a list on what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So yesterday, I actually made Syrian bread, and today I'm putting it in the oven. Now, if you want to give me advice on how I should keep all the crusts off of dough, email me at the link below, and I'll get to it. Or you can leave a comment at the links below, and I'll try and find it later. And I did find one other message, and I brought it up last week, that Laura FM's dog has been abused. And the mentions, that's a mention. So I I did mention it and I did address it, but at the same time, she's not really all over it. But if she is and expresses it, I'll bring it up with you again. So, alrighty. All right. So if it's a small one, just roll it out a little bit. Put it on the pan. Okay. That doesn't have much crust on it. Yeah, and it equaled up to one dose. So be sure not to actually leave it open. Just put a little bit of olive oil on top. Or if you have a better suggestion, like I said, just drop me an email and give a suggestion. It doesn't hurt to have constructive criticism every now and then. So, and are there trolls? I'm not so sure. Now, I know all of you are not on my chat right now, but I know that you guys have been coming on, and thank you very much for that. So, and my views did go up, and I am making changes. So, and so far it's working. I made a change to the name of my show and channel. It went from Animal Audit Corner to Human Animal Audit Corner, and it made a difference because it did go up a bit. All right, so then I'm going to let it rise. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this to the side. I'm going to cover it. Always cover your Syrian bread before putting it in the oven. Now, let it go up for about 2 to 5 minutes. There. All right. And there we go. Now, we'll put this in the sink. Ooh. Everybody, don't do what I just did and leave a cooking spray on top of the stove, because then it'll explode. Do it as I say, not as I do. It wasn't really smart of me to just leave it there. So, all right, so I'm going to toss this away. Now, make sure there are no crust or dry parts on your dough, because it's not going to... Okay, and this goes in the sink. There. Now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make stuffed shells, but it's going to be vegan. It's a little bit better than the regular stuffed shells, which has regatta, and it's really, really heavy. So this is the much healthier version. Okay, let me grab out my stuff. Okay. All right, after you wash off your tofu, dry it up. Okay. Get off as much as you can. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Now, I'm determining whether or not I should actually use my food processor. Right, there we go. Ugh. And yes, I'm going to put it right in my food processor. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to cut this up. All right. I'm running out of things to talk about. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Of course, I keep saying I'm going to email ICE to see, to wish her well on her speedy recovery from cancer. But I didn't do it. So, but I will go ahead and do that when, geez, I don't know. So, and I do wish you a speedy recovery, eyes to see. And okay, almost halfway to boil. Oh, geez. You know what? I'm going to put this back in there. I have to remember to actually put this in there. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to put the blade in. All right, when you grab out the blade, be careful. So now, this channel is not only for people who came out of Scientology and other cults. You guys who were never in a cult could join into. It's not limited. So, okay, I should have brought it up with you before, but I didn't. I should have. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to chop this up into pieces and put it in my food processor because guess what? It's a little bit more faster. Put it in the food processor. Now, this takes place of regatta. Now, regatta has heavy cheese and it's from a cow. This isn't so heavy and it's cruelty-free. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to put it into our food processor. So if you want to have a healthier lifestyle, substitute. Okay, there we go. Put in as much as you can and then put it in the food processor and take it out and put the next one in. Just make room for it. Okay, it's almost there. Now, while it's still in the process of boiling, put a little salt in there, or if you can't have salt, use olive oil to make sure it doesn't stick. So, all right, now we're gonna put this on top and then grind it up. All right, here we go. We only going there. All right, now I have to stop for a second, and then I'm going to turn around and put my shells in after I turn it down. Okay, now we're going to stick all the shells in. Now this is a healthier version, and this will double in size, so don't worry. There's shells. This is a lot like making lasagna, but only it's shells. Okay. Now, was I giving off hate speech today? No. I wasn't. What I was doing was trying to get you guys improved on what you're doing and how you come off. That's all. But if you don't want to change, well, at least I tried. So I'm going to get, okay, here we go. Now I'm going to stir this around. And I'm going to let it cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, there. So I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to get maybe another time. So, okay. There we go. All right. All right, there it is right there. Now I'm going to put the next ones in. Oh, wait, I have to put the blade in first. Oh, boy. What is there a girl to do? Now, this is, I opened 2 packages up. That's 36 ounces with 16 divided by 16. Okay, now I'm going to put the top on. There. Oh, man. Let's see what's going on here. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, there. All righty, now we're just getting somewhere. All righty. Now, tomorrow I am going to redo my final log that I did last week or the week before because it did not go through, so I have to do it again. Enjoy my other episodes of my show and adapt the name change really well because now, you know what? Okay, that's it for this because I think it's mushed up enough. Now I'm going to stir this up. Okay. Yeah, I had to move some of the things out of the way so I can drain that when it's time. So, all right. Now, it's a better texture if you blend up the tofu. It gives a regatta cheese look, or if you want to use this as a spread for your bagel in place of regular cream cheese, then you can use this with herbs and spices and even fruit if you desire, like it was a regular cream cheese. Okay. All right, there we go. And do I have anything to talk about? Yes. Now, I'm this week going to try and complete one of my tasks on my list. What is it going to be? I'm not going to tell you because you know what's going to happen. All right. So something can be done about cults and Scientology. So Scientology will stop doing what they do. What am I going to do? Not going to tell, because guess what? I don't want them jumping to the next politician. So I'm not going to say what's going to happen next. I'm going to follow John Poe's advice. All right. Oh, geez. I'm going to have to spoon this out. All right. Just spoon this out like so. Okay, there we go. All righty. Okay, now we're going to grab another spoon, from there, and then stir it around. It has the texture like a regular regatta cheese, but it's in a healthier version. Okay, now I am going to put spinach in there, or let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to put 1/3 cup of vegan Parmesan cheese. So here we go. Now again, this is cruelty-free. Okay. Although there's a little left in there, yeah. If there's like tiny bits left, don't even worry about it. So. And I'm going to keep an eye on the shells. Make sure they're going to actually blow up in size. And now I'm going to get the spinach to add in. Yeah, and here it is. Yeah, it's about 1 package of spinach. And there it is. And then I'm going to pour it in. The whole thing, yes. Because it's going to be a little bit more healthier. So the more you put in, the more healthy it is, even though it should be 1 pack. Now, is this too clumpy? Yeah. So I would suggest taking it out ahead of time. I'm going to remember that the next time. Now, Scientology has a way with putting their foot in their mouth. So, Tom Cruise, that little sucker, he actually got on, or did I mention this before? In case I didn't mention it, he had the audacity of saying that he takes people off of drugs. Who gave him the authority to do that? He doesn't have a medical license. He never went to medical school. He's a high school dropout. He doesn't even have a medical license. So he has no authority to be taking people off of anything. So, okay. Mix this around. Oh, it's starting to look so good. And we're going to put just a little bit of salt in there. And this is it being frozen, even though I should have took it out in advance. So let me put like 1/4 of salt. Okay. All right, here's 1/4 salt. Hopefully I won't shake. Well, that should do it. I'm not going to put any more in there, so. All right, so we're going to mix it up. Hopefully it won't taste too salty, but put 1/4 in. I decided not to put the rest of the salt in there because so much went in there. So, and okay, this is done, and I'm going to grab my colander and then drain it, put it back in, then use it. Now I'm going to turn this off so nothing will stick. Okay, there. Now I'm going to put this in there. So if you just drained it, just put it right in because you don't want any of the things to stick in there. So let that cool off. I'm going to stir this up a little more. And now I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella in here. How much? I am going to stick in 1 cup. So let's see here. There we go. 1 cup. And then I'm going to sprinkle other ones on top of the shells when I put it in the oven. Okay. Stir this up. Now, every Friday when the Clearwater crew goes out and protests so their voices can be heard, and they give the voice to everybody that's trapped in Scientology. My hat's off to you. they dedicate themselves to that protest. And it's just so great that they're doing it. And of course, if the cults want to have their beliefs, even though it's not very good, fine, have it. But quit abusing people. And that includes Scientology. And stay out of other people's computers and don't hack anyone. Scientology and other cults. What other cult does that? I don't know. I definitely know it's Scientology, since a lot of my stuff, it was missing last March or April, and it was all on Scientology, so it was there. So, okay, so now it is ready to go into the pan. Now first, add any marinara sauce into your pan. Now this keeps it from sticking. Now you can use a cooking spray if you want, but I think it's better, in my opinion, if you use the marinara sauce. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, now we're going to stuff the shells. Oh, maybe I better grab out a spoon. All right, here we go. Grab out a clump. Okay. Yeah, this is why you should actually take your spinach out in advance and let it thaw out if it's actually frozen. Thaw it out first. Okay. Okay. No. Now, when you broil it, it's gonna get larger, 2 times larger than an original one. Oh, geez. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Now, is this authentic? Probably not. Then again, I'm not authentic. I'm not even Italian, but this is the healthier version. So there we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to take out another one. We're going to stick the whole thing in. Put as much you can in there. Oh, this is looking so great. And then after I'm done, I'm going to stick it in the oven. Now, all you that came out of Scientology, you are just all so brave. You're brave souls for leaving the way you did with the aid of the Aftermath Foundation and the SPTV Foundation and all the protesters that protesting is out there for you. Okay. All right. Now, in this recipe, I boil up the shells. I add the 2 packets of tofu. They're both 16 ounces each. Then I put a packet of spinach into the tofu, substituting it for the ricotta cheese. in. And then I put a vegan Parmesan cheese in. Now, I guess if you're welcome to, if you want, you're welcome to put regular ones in, but I really don't use regular one. I try to use cruelty-free products. So, okay. And it's also a little bit more healthier for you. So that's why changes would come up in this second month of the new year. All righty, here we go. Wow, I am just having a great day. I am just happy to be here with you guys, giving you this lovely recipe and my stories to you 4 or 5 times a week. I had to cut back a little bit because the stress was wearing me out. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Now I'm going to use the ones that are also broken up too, so it won't just waste. I'm just going to I'm going to wedge it in and grab the next one and then stuff it. Now, I am going to hire a crew, but where am I going to stick at? Never going to tell. Never. So, because I don't want to actually do something and have a cult like Scientology interfere or intercept in what I'm doing. So, not going to tell you what I'm going to do next. So, once I accomplish it, I'll bring it to you. Okay. Okay. Now, in case, of course, you did notice on how Scientology comes off as a victim, where in reality, they are the problem. David Miscavige is the problem. The finger points directly at David Miscavige. Now, is Tom Cruise the perpetrator? He sort of is. He's both the victim and the perpetrator. So that's all it is to it. And now, is he giving his feelings? You know what? I don't even know if he's watching this show. If not, well, then I don't care. There are other people watching it, and they hear on their own free will. Okay. And yeah, it's just so horrible that they actually make themselves out to look like the victim when they're actually the perpetrator, and calling people bigots, which they are, because they don't accept any other religion. So that means you can't be a Catholic and be in Scientology. Yes, they said it's accepted, but they don't really mean it. All right. So if they tell you that, don't believe them and just walk away, because you don't want to spend your life in a cult. All right. shove this in there. Now, how many more I'm going to get in there, I really don't know. So let's see here. Okay. All right. All right. There. All right. Now, of course, like I mentioned, this is more healthier than the regular lasagna and stuffed shells because it's low in calories and it's cruelty free. All right. Yeah, I can't fit anymore. Go figure. But let me see. Maybe I'll make, let's see. Yeah, there's some left in there, so yeah, I'll just use this. I'll use the tiny pan. All right, because I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this is gonna be like, so yeah, it's not that much in there, so if there is, sorry about that. Okay, so there we go. All right, now grab more. All right, now I did it with you guys while doing my live, and what I did was take tofu, spread this out a little, and used it for my bagel. Now, I used my food processor, like I just showed you today, blended it up, and it had like a smooth texture, and I put herbs in there and a little bit of salt. It came out to be an excellent spread for your bagel in the morning. So give it a try. If you don't like it, well, no one's making you eat it. So, all right. Stuff some more. Okay. Oh boy. There. All right. I should have just took it out in advance and then actually put it in. Okay. Now, am I sorry for what I said today and leaning on churches? I don't think so, because what I'm saying is I'm trying to get acceptance. So I'm not going to apologize for what I said. Now, whatever's comfortable to you, you do you. You can be in any religion you want as long as you don't hurt people with a capital H. NH with a capital no, and H with a capital hurt people. As long as you don't hurt another human being, you can practice any religion you want. Just don't hurt people. That's the message I'm giving to you. Now, all right. All right. Now, what do other people think? You know what? Go on the internet and find out, because am I going to do a rebuttal video? Maybe, just maybe I would. Back to finishing. So, let's see here. Now, not only you should accept people for other religions, accept them for whatever person they are, whether they're black, yellow, Chinese, foreigners. You accept people for who they are. So, now, this episode, I really like doing this episode because I want to open up other people's eyes to what the cults, and I'm not really gonna bring it up as often because the church really doesn't set out to hurt people. But sometimes I'll mention them every now and then. Okay, but do they set out to hurt other people? No, they don't. In their cases, it would be more of an accident. But however, you're not perfect. You're gonna make a mistake. That's understandable, but also admit your mistakes. Have I made huge mistakes? Yes, I have. Everybody's got their critics. And sometimes we do things that are not really that great to people. So we have to admit what we do is wrong sometimes. So, all right. Yeah, this is not doing me any good, putting it in this small thing like this. So I'm going to get as much in as I can. All right, there we go. Now, do I want a celebrity to follow? And you know what? It doesn't matter. People should watch what they want to watch. I'm not going to tell people what to watch, what not to watch. But do I want them to watch a show? Of course. Everybody on YouTube and everybody who has their own show wants people to watch them. It's understandable. It is very understandable. And when you're a musician or a rock star or an R&B, yes, you're going to want people to watch. Or else, yeah, what's the use of working on a project? So, oh boy. Okay, I'm trying to, maybe I should have substituted for the bigger version, but all right. Here we go. Now, Joy Vila. She seems like a great person. But however, I think she went from one cult to another because guess what? Trump is a cultist. He's a cult. I don't know why she's supporting him. Because what that does is making you go from one cult to another. But she has a pro-choice stand, and okay, you got a right to believe whatever you want, but as long as you don't pin it on somebody else, then it'll be okay. But what you're really doing, what she's really doing is going from one cult to another. So hang in there, Joy Villa. We love you. I hope you have a great career as an artist. All right. Because everybody loves tuning into you, and that song you sing in your introduction is unbelievably great. I love listening to it. And you're a lucky woman to have a husband that loves you so much. And of course, the rest of you if you're married. But do I have anybody? Well, that's a little personal. Maybe someday I'll have somebody. I don't know. But don't have a husband, don't have a family. But you know what? It's okay. I'll be okay. Did my family have something to do with it? Oh, I don't know. But who knows? So I'm just, okay, stick this in there. Yeah, I should have used something a little bit more bigger. So, all right. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost getting to the end. All righty. Wow. And I am not in the kitchen that often. And when I'm in the kitchen, I rather share my recipes with you. Whether you're going to a party or making your dinner, anything. All right. Okay. Yeah, some of these things are clung together, so I'm just gonna, here we go. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, I know I told this story before, but oh, my mother, she was such an amazing woman. I love talking about my mom. She was the most greatest woman in the entire world. Of course, understandable. Everybody's going to think that way about their mom. So, okay. All right, I'm halfway there to finishing. All right. Here we go. And then maybe next month I'll make manicotti. Yeah, I should have used something a little bit more bigger. So, yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? All right. And if you're a cook, you should use something bit more bigger. So now the reason why I use tofu is because I want a cruelty-free dish, and I want things to be just a little bit more healthier. So I use tofu. Okay, that should do it. I have this one last scoop. Oh, I know I wasn't going to bring up religion again, but when people stop attending church, does that mean they don't love God? No. I think that means that they're sending a message that to accept people for who and what they are, whether they're a religion or the LGBTQ community. That's one of the main reasons why people are stop going to churches. I think that's the main reason. So, all right, we're done with this. Now we're gonna pour our sauce on. I know I should have just used something a little bit more bigger, but I didn't. So put this on top. Okay. All right. Why am I shaking? You know what? I don't know. Alrighty. Okay. Now I'm gonna. You know, when my mother was here, whatever was left over in the jar of spaghetti sauce, she would take just a little bit of water, swish it around, just pour it in. It is so great. All right. Well, that should do it. All right. Now I'm going to put the cheese on top. Now, do I like this particular one? It's okay. It's better than nothing, but there are other packages that I'd rather buy, but this is just more affordable. So, and it's at Walmart. So is that the cheapest place to go? It looks like it. So let's spread it. Here we go. Yeah, I should have put it in another panel, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't do it. So, and then I'm going to open this one up and then put the other ones in there. Alrighty. Now, hey, you know what? I am missing Natalie, and I know you are too. So guess what? I'm not a morning person, but if I'm up early, I'll see if I can catch Natalie's live. But you know what? Most likely I want to stay in bed. So, and am I going to go back to work soon? I would love to go back to work soon. Of course, the competition with the younger kids is something else. So, yes, I do want to go back to work at the same time. Yeah, they're looking for the younger ones, so it's unbelievable. Here we go. We're going to stick these two on a side. Hopefully everything will fit. Okay. Ah, jeez. Okay. Okay. It rolls really good. So let's see if I can stick this. Nah. I better put it up there. All right. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's a little puffy. Is it going to work? I think so. We're going to close the oven. And that should do it. So, with my Syrian bread, I added 3 1/4 cup of flour, 1 cup warm milk. Just stick it in the microwave for like a minute or a minute or two, or no, a minute, maybe 5 seconds. Just make sure it's warm, not hot. So, and 1 2/3 teaspoon of yeast, active yeast, 1/3 cup of lukewarm water. Combine it with the yeast, put it aside and let it foam up or sink to the bottom, whatever. And 1/4 cup of salt, although if doctor advises you not to actually use salt, then don't. So we don't want to put your health in jeopardy. And then let it rise for an hour, or you could actually, well, let it rise for an hour because you don't want those dry spots developing. Let it rise an hour, go back to it, roll it out, put it to the side for 2 or 3 minutes, stick it in the oven, or maybe 5 minutes. Stick it in. And then with your stuffed shells, boil up your shells. Add 36 ounces of tofu. Blend it up in the food processor. And then take a packet of spinach. Leave it to the side. Let it thaw out. Let it melt. Then dump it into the tofu. Mix it up. Add your mozzarella. 1 cup of mozzarella and 1/4 of vegan Parmesan cheese, or whatever it is you want to add. Can't force anything on you. And of course, we got to the end of the show. So if you want to support my channel, go to PayPal. You have the control of giving me any amount you want. Or go buy me a coffee, even though I'm still trying to figure that out. And hit the like, press subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow when I redo my monologue segment. See you tomorrow.